Welcome back. Right now we are going to turn our attention to your health. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is taking bold steps for early detection of pancreatic cancer. Let's find out more right now.
Perfect. Okay. The nonprofit Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is launching a major initiative to detect the cancer early and also to study a link between diabetes after 50 and pancreatic cancer. PanCAN President Julie Fleshman is here to discuss the race to early detection and why this cancer does not discriminate. Julie, thanks so much for joining us here on Park City Television.
Thank you so much for having me.
So it's been a tough year. We've lost many people due to pancreatic cancer, many famous people. So I'm curious more about what made you decide to do this campaign and to start this launch.
So, pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers. It's the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and the 5-year survival rate is just 10%. And one of the things that makes the disease so challenging is that there is no early detection test for pancreatic cancer. So usually by the time it is diagnosed, it's late stage, meaning that the tumor has spread to other organs beyond the pancreas, making it very difficult to treat at that point. So we know that if we could have an early detection test to discover the tumor in an earlier stage where surgical intervention is still possible, we know that would change patient outcomes and lead to longer term survival. So that's why we're so excited to be launching the Early Detection Initiative today.
So not having this type of cancer diagnosed early enough, it's such a huge issue. Is it due to research? Is it due to how it's diagnosed? Is it because people aren't getting in with their doctors early enough? Is there one thing that you really can point to, or is it a large combination?
It's really two things. One is there is no early detection test. So there isn't a way for someone to go in and say, hey, take this test and see if I have early pancreatic cancer. And then also the symptoms are quite benign for pancreatic cancer, meaning they mimic those of other diseases. So it's not, when someone has the symptoms, they may not think immediately that I have pancreatic cancer. And so both of those things, no early detection tests and symptoms that are rather benign, lead to this detection of the disease at a much later stage. And we also need more research dollars being invested in pancreatic cancer, which again is why PanCAN is so excited to be launching this early detection initiative with the support of our donors and our volunteers and our constituents, so that we can hopefully discover an early detection strategy for the disease.
And one specific thing that you're looking at is the link between diabetes after 50 and pancreatic cancer.
That's right. So what we know is that some people who get new onset diabetes after the age of 50, that's actually an early symptom for pancreatic cancer. But we don't know how to determine which of those people is it an early symptom for pancreatic cancer and which people that are getting new onset diabetes after the age of 50 is it just normal diabetes. And so PanCAN's Early Detection Initiative will really look at that to figure out how do we determine which group is it an early symptom for pancreatic cancer, and does screening at the time of a diagnosis of new onset diabetes after the age of 50 lead to earlier detection of pancreatic cancer.
And are there any other ways that people could determine if they are at an elevated risk of developing the disease?
So we recommend that people go to pancan.org and take our risk assessment test, which will tell them if they're at an elevated risk of pancreatic cancer. And they can also read more about the risk factors and symptoms. One of the best things, knowledge is power, and knowing this information can help people be their own best patient advocate.
And this is a very ambitious undertaking. What do you really hope to accomplish here? And where do you hope to be a year from now with this?
So yes, the Early Detection Initiative, it's a large study, a $25 million investment over many years. And our goal is to find an early detection strategy for pancreatic cancer and change practice guidelines. In a year from now, we hope that we're enrolling in this study. We'll be enrolling people who are diagnosed with new onset diabetes after the age of 50. and we'll be starting to learn. But it will take many years for us to complete the study to really be able to develop that early detection strategy.
Well, thank you so much, Julie Fleshman, PanCAN President, for joining us today. You can find out more about everything we've talked about in regard to pancreatic cancer at pancan.org. Thank you so much, Julie, for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.